Welcome to the Boot Hill Sports Network. We are live. Here it is Wednesday night, 2 nights before game night. We're live with Coach G from the Caruthersville Tigers and a couple of his players. Coach G, how you doing?
I'm great, man. We made it through a good Wednesday, and we're ready to get rolling. It's been a week.
Well, before we get into conversation about basically the no-show last week, and then of course this next week, you got a couple players there with you. Can you introduce them for us?
Yes, right next to me I have Tevin Tillman. Um, he starts on the D line and the offensive line for us. He's a senior, and then all the way over is Ryan Guest. He's our starting quarterback.
Good to have you guys. Thank you so much for joining us, and as well with you, Coach G. Hey guys, um, we'll just start off with the fact last week you were prepped, you were ready, you were prepared for a game against the Donovan Dons, and basically at the last minute that got canceled. How did that go?
I mean, we got an email, and they sent us their situation and that they couldn't play, and we got it late Thursday, and we had to. We were actually walking the elementary school kids in when we got the final word, and we were kind of just like, um, so the guys walked the elementary school kids in. We still had to feed the tigers, and we kind of just were like, okay, well, time to look forward to Kennett.
Uh, did they give you a reason? Was it because I've been asked this question all week long. Was it illness? Because I know that COVID has kicked back up, or was it just a lack of players quitting? Like, did they give you a reason?
I think they were just beat up. Um, their roster, I think, is less than ours. Without getting into too many specifics, I think they were just really beat up, and it just wasn't a good situation. And I think they made the call that was best for their program as they look to get healthy and then press forward the rest of the season. So I understand where they're at, but I think they were just beat up, a couple injuries and da da da.
Right, and I understand that too. It's understandable, but it's also disappointing, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, the issue is like you're getting ready for a game, and we prep for it, and I mean that's the seniors lost a game, their senior year. We lost another week to prepare for a road stretch. We had tickets selling out the wazoo, and then all of a sudden the game got canceled. So I mean, we lost another home game. This is the second year in a row we've lost a home game because someone forfeited on us. So it's tough, but the kids, which was a good surprise, and kind of rebounded and started pressing forward towards Kennett, and that's kind of been our focus since they canceled on us. We got some film, and the kids logged film hours, and we just pressed forward. I mean, as disappointing as it was, but I mean, it's out of our control. It's something that is nothing I can't go there and make them play us. So
Right, and like you said, it's out of your control. Uh, in your mindset, you're 2-1 now. Uh, but do you still feel like you're 1-1 just because you didn't get to get on the field?
no, we're 2-1. I mean,
Yeah. Okay.
like, look, no matter how there's a lot of, and Carol, don't hate me. There's a lot of ways to skin a cat, and like you can't like a win's a win. Like I'm not gonna say no, that's not ours. Like we prepared all week, we worked our tails off, we conditioned, we did what we needed to do to win, and might not have played the game, but we won the week.
All right. See, I 100% agree with you. I'm glad you have that same mindset because I've always said a win's a win. I don't care if it's you know an accidental call by a official or whatever, but a win is a win. So congratulations on being 2-1 as we head into Kennett.
Yeah, we're this is a game we've been
So let me
looking
hear from
forward.
these guys for a second. Let me just hear how do you guys feel about the season so far before we get into this week's matchup?
To speak
I feel
up.
like I feel like we're doing pretty good. as far as last year, for sure. Last year, I felt like we were good, but then we had our downfalls. I feel like this year we're pretty solid.
Our progression's gotten better. The
I'd have to
JV,
agree.
the JV definitely steps up, and they put up a good fight. So it helps us prepare for the people, who I feel like are, we could beat and stuff like that. So I feel like we've definitely gotten better. The conditions sucks, but we've definitely gotten better.
Yeah, thanks, Coach G. Uh, as far as as players, when you're preparing so hard, watching the film, practicing, and getting ready for a team like Donovan, to find out at the last minute you're not playing them, what does that do for your mindset?
And really, really, just like it crushes you, honestly. 'Cause you're so ready. I was so ready to play, and then they just said I can't. They canceled, and then I was just like,
I've been out with a concussion, and it still crushed me. Like I couldn't even play last Friday, and it still crushed me. This is like I couldn't sit there
Right,
and watch the
right.
team beat somebody, and that
Give
we've been
you
working hard for.
does it give you go? Does it give you a little bit more momentum going into Kennett Friday night?
Yeah, definitely.
Definitely. You
for
too,
sure.
Ryan.
Yeah, for sure.
So, Coach, with the extra time off, what did you focus on this past week after not having to go travel and take the next day off? Just a little bit extra time for Kennett.
Yeah, I mean, once we found out that that Donovan canceled on us, we immediately shared the Kennett film that we had. Um, Started logging film hours, started formulating our game plans. I mean, we met as a staff to kind of figure out what we were going to do. Kennett's got 850 formations, so we've been sorting through those, and we just started pressing forward. I mean, it's only week 3. We got 7 guaranteed. So, I mean, it was a minor road bump, and I feel bad for the boys. And I mean, the coaches put in a ton of time and effort for Donovan. But at the second we found out they were canceled, the coaches group text went from "What are we doing for the team mail? This, and this" to "Hey, we need to talk about Kennett here, 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 and here." So our focus immediately switched. It's not fair to the kids if we dwell on it and get pissed off at it and da 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 da. We need to press forward and get ready
Yeah.
for our next opponent and play football.
So, well, we'll go ahead and jump forward a little bit. Let's talk about Kennett. They're 3-0. Um, some people now this is always just the small town community talk. Some people say they haven't had that much of a rough schedule yet, but now the Tigers are coming to town. Uh, just like an opening, how do you feel about the Kennett Indians?
I mean, we as a staff went down and watched them against Sykeston. I will give credit to Sykeston. We had a joint practice with them in the summer, and they were building. And Sykeston looked like a darn good football team. I mean, regardless of the record, Tristan's done a really good job. Or Coach Boy's done a really good job with them, and it was good to see them in person. So the silver lining was when we went down to Sykeston, we got to see them in person. We know that they're formation heavy. We know where their dudes are. I mean, they're right up the road. Our kids know their kids. Our kids are friends with their kids. So that's a perk of the good and bad of living in the Boot Hill. Everybody knows everybody. Um,
Mhm.
they're a talented football team. I don't care what anybody says. They've got dudes, and they play hard, and they play fast. And I love the background commentary. Oh, they played Sykeston and this person, this person. That don't matter. That's a good football team.
Well, they haven't played Caruthersville yet, though.
They have not. They will have the opportunity to do that on Friday night.
Well, and see, that's another thing. Of course, it's a small town. It's almost like Varsity Blues or Friday Night Lights. You know, the small community loves their football teams. They get behind them. They know the local schools. There's the rivalries. Caruthersville and Kennett, even since I was in school years ago, always been a rivalry. So this one being on their turf, does that add any extra pressure? And this question goes for you and your guys there.
Definitely not.
I mean, we've set our
No.
mindset, and you guys chime in. But we've set our mindset that we're just gonna, and I hate though, we're gonna turn everything into our home field. No, we're just gonna play football wherever we're at, and whether it's on the road or not, shoot us 20 minutes up the road. Like I go to Kennett to go to McDonald's. Like it's not that far of a stop, Tevin. It's not that far. It's far of a trip. But
great.
I think it really just don't change. Like the mindset has to stay the same, no matter if you got all your people watching you or if you got all Kennett's people watching you. The mindset has to stay the same. Either way, you got to come in and punch them in the teeth.
Yeah, it's been 7 years since we beat them, and I feel like this year we stand a really good chance to beat them.
I love to hear that. And Ryan, I'm going to quote you on that. I promise you that once we're doing the game, because I'll be calling the game, and I'd love to see it. I'd love to hear it because all my years in high school, we didn't always get the good side against Kennett, whether it be officiating or just the final score. So I hope you do go in there and punch them in the teeth, like you said. So what kind of preparations, like you said, once you found out the game was canceled, Coach, you immediately flipped over towards Kennett. What kind of preparations have you and the team done this week? Just because after a week layoff, that's got to be kind of tough on the players.
I mean, we stuck with our normal routine. I mean, shoot, even when they canceled, we still had the team mail and all that stuff. We watched them in person, which gave the coaches a really good insight, I think, of what they were doing. And I know Sykeston runs this double wing thing. I'm a spread guy, so it's all foreign to me, but it looks cool. But we know Kennett. I mean, Coach Treese has been coached for 17 years. And so he's coached against Kennett and played against Kennett. He's a Caruthersville boy, so he knows what they're about and what they're running. And Kennett's very, like I said, formation heavy. They run a ton of different sets, and they have a bunch of different looks, and it's a different strategy than us. And so it's kind of new for me to really – and last year we did it a little bit, but I think this year we're really focused on how we're aligning to these formations, what plays are running out of these formations, where our matchup is against these formations. So we spent a lot of time on that kind of stuff. Offensively, we honed in. We've seen that defensive structure twice already. So we really honed in on where we can put our guys to do the best. We added a couple wrinkles in. We solidified some things that, quite frankly, going into Donovan probably looked a little shaky for us. So we were able to really perfect a couple things and really spend the time working on us. Special teams, I mean, we put some serious time into special teams this week. And we're gonna focus and be more efficient on the special teams every week as the season goes on, as we start solidifying really who's going to be those special team guys for us. Because special teams with small schools, like,
can you elaborate that on just a little bit more? Like, what are you focusing on special teams to get stronger? Is it the return? Is it the kicking?
I think. I mean, we have between Jermonte and Abion, we've housed 3 kickoff returns for touchdowns so far in 2 games. So our return games have been pretty solid. There's some things we had to clean up, and we dedicated the time to that. They run a swinging gate concept, so we had to spend some time on that, really. And we put almost a study session at the end of practice about what they're trying to do with that swinging gate and how we're going to defend it and how we're going to align to it, and understanding that just because they scored, we still have to be sharp, and it's not just coming up and trying to block a PAT. It's understanding what they could do out of that set. Kicking wise, like, we always want to shore up our kick coverage. I don't think you can spend enough time in regards to special teams on making sure you're staying in your lanes and everybody's staying assignment sound on the kickoff game. Punt, naturally. Punt and punt return with the defensive personnel changing based on scheme. We want to make sure our punt returns in the right spot, and we want to make sure our punt team's sound.
And I know it goes play by play, game by game. Does it go by the score or the situation when you decide if you want to kick for the extra point or go for 2?
I have a chart.
So that's all I'm getting, isn't it?
No, there's like a standard chart of when you should go for 2 and when you should go for 1. So I follow the chart. I mean, that thing's tried and true. Every single coach in America's got the same darn chart. So you can basically guess if those guys have a chart or not by what they're going to do, 1 or 2. But all jokes aside, it's really, I think, an end-game feel thing. It really depends on what the score is, what our situation is, how tired. If the guys are fresh, that's different.
Right.
If we have a 15-play drive, that's going to make a different call than if it's a kick return for a touchdown. So it really just depends on kind of where the kids are at, where our headspace at, who we're playing. There's a lot of factors that go into it. I think the big thing for me is kind of seeing where the kids are at physically. Like I said, long drives tend to you really want to stack an extra play on there when they're dog tired and they're asking for water and all that kind of stuff, or do you want to just take the 1? And most of the time, I just want the 1 point.
Well, I have to agree with that, but is it possible that sometimes, say, late in the game, fourth quarter, back and forth game, does emotion ever set into that decision? Do you ask the players? Do you ask the guys? And 2 of them sitting right there. Do you ever just say, "Do you guys want to tie, or do you want to go for 2?" Does that ever happen?
No.
Nope.
No.
I'm getting no's. I'm getting big no's.
He don't no choice in that.
Yeah.
He'll do the coaching, is what he says.
I asked Coach Treese. He'll shoot it to me straight. Yeah, I tell him all the time what we do the coaching. I'm like, Coach Treese, what are you thinking? I already have, when I ask him, I already have what I want to do in my head. And I'd say, thankfully, 98% of the time we're on the same page. But I think there's something to be said about, do you want to go for the win or want to go for the tie? And if you look at your guys and they're red, they want the win, and they can do it.
Right.
We have we have plays in mind, and we have an idea what we can do to get that done.
Well, see, and the main thing comes down to if you have faith in your players. And I've only known you for a year and a half, but I know you have faith in your players.
Always.
Speaking of your players, before we get into the final talk about the Friday night game, if you guys would like to, one at a time, just kind of introduce yourself, give us a little background, and tell us what you think about this season and your team and your coach, if you don't mind. He's sitting right there.
Tevin will go first.
My name is Tevin Tillman, and I'm the starting right tackle and then starting nose guard for offense and defense. And then sometimes, if I'm feeling it, if I'm not out of shape by first quarter with 12 seconds left, I'll play some special teams. But I feel like for me personally, I've definitely gotten better with, because last year there was a lot of complaining. I complained a lot. This year, I feel like I've definitely gotten better with the complaining. I don't complain at all. I'm to the ball, and shut up there. But I feel like and for my position on the O-line, we tell ourselves every day, be the best position group on the field. And sometimes we are. Sometimes we push ourselves to be. And you got to have, it starts with the O-line. You got to have a good O-line for, to make plays. And overall, I feel like the team has definitely gotten better. I feel like the seniors are good leaders this year. And we strive the young kids to be better. And the little freshman mentors, like me and Ryan are freshman mentors, and we got little freshmen in school. If they do bad or something like that, we run for them. We run with them. We run for them. Because, even though we don't do it, we're supposed to help them out. We're supposed to tell them, you got to be good in school, But overall, I feel like we've definitely gotten better.
Yeah.
Well, see, and that you made a great point, because you do have I know that the freshman class were very successful in middle school last year. So you got some talented kids, but they do need those mentors. They need that leadership. So you make a great point there. So I appreciate it, Tevin.
They're talented for sure. We got some really good guys coming up. You just got to lead them in the right direction.
They whoop us on defense all the time.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest, they whoop us on defense sometimes.
So, Ryan, you want to introduce yourself and tell the
Yeah.
folks out there a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, I'm Ryan. I'm the starting quarterback this year. Sometimes I'll fill in on defense depending on how Coach Treese is feeling. Sometimes Coach Treese gets mad at me, but yeah, I feel like this year, like I said, we're a lot better. I feel like I've gotten a lot better for sure. Last year I was the backup, and then I started the back half of the year because Tylen went down. I feel like I've gotten I'm a lot better suited this year than I was last year. Last year I was just kind of, I don't know, unexperienced really. Didn't really have what I had this year. Like G coaches quarterbacks, and he takes me through the reads and everything. We have quarterback meetings and all that. So yeah, we're definitely sitting better than we were last year.
Coach hates when I ask these kind of questions, but since I got both of you on the spot, you feel like you're contenders for district and so on?
You can answer.
What do you mean by that? I'm a little slow.
Do we have an opportunity to contend for a district title?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean,
Sure.
I said that last year. I think we could have last year. But yeah, definitely.
I think this year is going to be tougher than what it was last year for sure, but I think we can still get it done.
I love the conversation. Coach G hates when I ask any kind of questions. Like if before we get done, I will ask about the outcome coming up Friday night. But yeah, he hates when I ask any kind of questions about what the possibility or predictions or anything is. So welcome to the Coach G show because this is what I deal with every week. So you guys, I mean, you're feeling pretty good, pretty refreshed, and confident going into Kennett Friday night.
Very.
Definitely.
How about
It's
you,
always
Coach?
like you just can't give up. Like you can't have that give up mentality. Like if we come out and we keep them up through the first quarter, then the second quarter they're dogging us. See, that's when we attend to get in our minds that they're beating us. We can't.
That's where last year when we get down by a bunch, I feel like everybody would just give up kind of.
Yeah.
And then this year I feel like we got the fight, honestly.
Says that's Coach. I got to say, for a couple of your leaders, that's great words to hear.
They didn't even get coached on this, so
He just told us not to say bad words.
I don't know. I'm in between on that.
yeah, I told him not to say anything.
He's coming back.
I had to close the door.
Okay, lost you there. You told him not to say anything. What?
No bad words.
Yeah.
No bad words.
Oh no, we saved that for the field.
Yeah. Please don't.
We can't even.
We can't even do that.
Yeah, you guys save it.
Coach T will have to run.
Do you know what Coach Treese is?
Oh, really?
Coach Treese scares about everybody in my family. Dogs and Coach Treese to cover him.
You better be careful. Brad might be watching right now.
Oh, he guaranteed he is.
Definitely.
Hey, Coach
He's
Treese.
gonna
Yeah.
talking about me. I love you. Coach.
Be ready. That's all I can say. Yeah, I love you. He loves you, Coach Treese. He loves
Glad we
you.
don't-
All right, then I will. Well, let's get down to the brass, Coach. You got one more day left of practice, and then it is Friday Night Lights. You guys ready for Kennett?
Oh, definitely.
Yes, sir.
No doubt in my mind.
What they said.
I see. Yeah, no, I love that. I love that, and the fans love that. I guarantee you, everyone's gonna love that. Is there anything without, like we always say, without giving up too much or anything out of the ordinary to expect?
You know,
Tevin's back. Been gone for 2 weeks. Kevin's back.
Yeah. Tevin's back. Love it.
I got to give you the same stock answer. We're gonna try to go out there and
Here we
control
go.
between the tackles and control it between the tackles and play Tigers football, and we'll know about 9:30 or 10 o'clock how it worked out.
Expect a good game for sure.
I feel like you have that written down somewhere right behind your computer where every time I ask that question, you just have to look up and read it.
It's not just you. That's why the guys don't talk to me like the reporters, because I tell them the same thing. Ask them.
Play Tiger football. All right, Ryan, without going out on a limb too much, what do you expect on Friday night?
I expect a good game for sure. I expect our offense to work. Defense is going to be on point. We spent a lot of time on defense this week. Lot more than usual. This week we've definitely stepped up the intensity in practice. So I feel like it's going to be a great game for sure.
Tevin, how about you? What do you expect?
That Kenneth O-line and D-line should expect that I'm not for the gimmicks. You better be ready. That's all I got to say. For the O-line and D-line, we're gonna definitely put up a good fight.
I hope we got some folks from Kennett watching because I'd like to hear that. I love the sportsmanship and the ferocity that you got coming. So I look forward to watching it, calling it on the Boot Hill Sports Network. And final thoughts from you, Coach. What do you got?
I'm confident where we're
Don't
at.
say we're playing Tiger football.
All right. In all honesty, it was good having these guys on naturally. They didn't have a choice. So I think we've got a good game plan set. I think we put the time in this week where we needed to put the time in. And really all it comes down to is, and I know they've done the same thing with us, is how are our Jimmys and Joes going to play within our scheme? Like, are our boys going to come out swinging and fight for every inch or not? And I guarantee it's the same thing that Kennett's thinking. We've got a game plan set, both sides of the ball. Are we going to go out there and do it? Or are we going to let someone get the better of us? And I think we've done a really good job this week. I think today was probably our best practice of the year by far.
On offense for sure.
Yeah,
That's
on
great.
offense.
That's great.
I think we're kind of – it's nice being healthy again. It's nice being rested, which is the silver lining of getting our game canceled last week. But I think if we do what we need to do, it's going to be a heck of a football game. And I'm excited to coach it. And I know the other coaches are excited to coach it. And, I mean, you talked about the rivalry. I mean, Coach Treese is Caruthersville, born and raised, been coaching for 17 years, and he's been ready for this game since the day he signed back on the coaching staff. So this is definitely the game that we put some time and effort into, just like every game. But this one's special for us, and we're going to go out there and play football.
In it, baby.
It's Kennett week, baby.
Hey, Kennett.
Tiger football?
I just said football.
Well, I know, but I was correcting you.
I'm with Tiger
Well,
football.
There you go. I see. I knew it. I knew it was coming at some point. I can tell you as far as because I get to talk to a lot of the people in Caruthersville for my job. They ask me all the time about games and players and everything else. Fans are very excited about this game. It's like you said it, and I said it's a rivalry. It's just a 20-minute drive, and it always usually somehow comes down to a pretty close game. And I think just everybody is excited for Friday night. And just to hear from your players and yourself, of course, Coach, sounds like we're going to have some fun Friday night.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes down to it, it's all we can call the plays, we can scheme it up. It all comes down to what the boys do, and I'm confident they're going to go out there and play football. And I think Kennett's going to bring everything they got to us, and I love a game when it's a chess match, and I think that's what we're going to get is a chess match between their coaching staff and our coaching staff, and a fight between their kids and our kids within the guidelines of a game, not a fist fight.
Well, Of course, yeah. No, we understand that. For Ryan and Tevin, with Kennett being 3-0, is there any kind of special I don't know, I guess a boost to give them their first loss of the season?
Elaborate that.
Yeah.
Use your word because I'm not that smart.
Elaborate a little bit.
Well, I mean, does it give you just that extra confidence builder? Because, like I said, they're 3-0 now regarding what their schedule was and was not, and no matter who they played. But you're going in against an undefeated team, and you have the chance to give them their first loss of the season. Does that stick in your mind at all? You think about it at all, or is it just going out there and playing your game?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, going out there and playing my game for sure. And then I just want to beat Kenny because, I mean, we haven't beat him. Like I said, we haven't beat him in 7 years.
And maybe if we
7
beat
years,
them, Coach Treese will ease up on the conditioning
Yeah.
next week.
Possibly.
I seriously doubt that, but good luck. That's all I can say. Well, I want to thank all three of you once again for being on the Boot Hill Sports Network. Ryan, Tevin, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Coach G, you're
Hey, it's been
adorable as always.
I'm sorry, Coach.
Oh, he's a big teddy bear. You got to admit it. You guys know it.
Good answer.
No comment.
Like 5 minutes.
Yeah. All right. Well, it's going to be 2-1 Caruthersville Tigers against the 3-0 undefeated Kennett Indians. Friday night. It's going to be right here on the Boot Hill Sports Network. Guys, any of you, anything you want to add before we go and get ready for game day?
Watch number 58. We're gonna be knocking him off.
All right.
Seaville Tigers on Friday.
Coach, I heard that, but nothing. All right, guys. Thank you so much.